Imagine for an instant that your fundamental self doesn't simply vanish at the moment of transition, but rather commences a journey so mysterious, so sacred, whose genuine essence has seldom been spoken of. Edgar Cayce, known to many as the Sleeping Prophet, offered deep revelations regarding the soul's authentic journey during the initial 40-day period after our bodily passing. These are not indistinct spiritual notions, nor are they mere elegant turns of phrase. Instead, they represent precise, profoundly significant truths, which hold the power to fundamentally reshape your understanding of mortality and being. Envision this scene. Your bodily frame has become motionless and cold. The beat of your heart has quieted. Nevertheless, your awareness feels more vivid than it ever has before. You perceive every happening unfolding in your vicinity. You still possess the ability to sense and to ponder, yet you are detached from the physical dimension. This journey we embark upon is not one of simple enlightenment or utter darkness, nor is it solely about serene peace or unsettling dread. Rather, it unveils a methodical sequence, a revered journey that shapes where your essence is destined and the experiences it will encounter. Within the narratives of Cayce, the span of 40 days carries exceptional significance. For individuals contemplating the enigmas beyond earthly existence, or perhaps for those who have borne the grief of parting and wondered about a cherished soul's current dwelling, or even if your search is simply for insights that conventional wisdom may not reveal, we extend our invitation for you to listen on. The perspectives we are about to unveil might gently challenge some long-held beliefs, yet they possess the power to bestow deep inner calm upon your spirit. We warmly encourage you to contribute your thoughts and observations. Each contribution will be thoughtfully reviewed, and should your viewpoint enhance our continuing dialogue, we will recognize it with a small emblem of appreciation. We wish to convey our appreciation for your company on this shared journey of discovery. Additionally, kindly consider subscribing and enabling notifications so you don't miss any forthcoming wisdom we share. Let us collectively nurture this expanding community. Now, with a soft exhalation, allow your thoughts to center as we delve into Edgar Cayce's extraordinary disclosures regarding the spirit's voyage in the initial 40-day period after it departs. The very moment the soul detaches from its bodily vessel, the experience of time seems to dissolve, yet awareness continues unbroken. Edgar Cayce himself described this specific juncture as a sacred transition. While breath may have stopped and the heart has quieted, an exceptionally vivid consciousness remains. This is not awareness as it was during earthly existence, but rather a more profound, discerning form of knowing. You can sense your surroundings, hear the lamentations of those you cherish, yet physical contact is unattainable, and your presence remains unfelt by them. In the moments following demise, Cayce depicted a curious limbo for the spirit, a phase where it perceives its body's severance, yet hasn't entirely entered the spiritual domain. This stage evokes questions, clear recollections, and deep self-appraisal. Life is then re-examined by the soul, not as events, but as a sequence of feelings. What was bestowed or received, whom it assisted or harmed. Each action and intention reappears with astonishing clarity. Cayce conveys the soul is judged in this stage not by an outer force, but by its own higher self. This self, unbound by ego or illusion, sees all things precisely as they were. This insight can feel serene or daunting. Cayce suggests that for the first 3 days, the soul lingers close to the physical body. This isn't voluntary, but a natural, essential step in the detachment process. Like rousing from a dream, the soul needs time to fully accept its untethering from the body. It observes the memorial, hears the prayers, and senses the room's emotions. On occasion, it endeavors to connect, wanting to offer a final goodbye, solace, or understanding. However, it quickly perceives that the majority of individuals cannot detect its presence, at least not through sound. Merely those with profound intuition or heightened emotional sensitivity are able to discern its existence. This accounts for accounts of people feeling a cold sensation or an unexpected wave of feeling during a memorial service. It is not a product of the mind. Rather, it represents the spirit's ultimate effort to forge a bond. Once those initial 3 days have elapsed, a transformation begins, an ethereal drawing sensation. The essence of being starts to perceive itself being gently guided towards a more elevated dimension. It is at this point, Cayce proposes, that spiritual escorts begin to appear. These escorts are not unfamiliar entities. They are recognizable energies, spirits akin to one's own. Perhaps we have encountered these superior entities or formed bonds with them in earlier lives within the spiritual realms. Their mere presence instills a profound sense of peace, akin to a soft murmur, reassuring us, "You are truly never alone." When the fourth day dawns, the soul begins its passage into what Cayce described as the in-between plane, a space existing as a dimension positioned between the earthly domain and the heavenly reaches. In this area, the soul faces no evaluation, nor does it suffer any retribution. Instead, it is offered direction. This specific realm is uniquely tailored to align with the soul's distinct energetic signature. What exactly does this signify? It means your soul gravitates organically toward an environment that reflects its true spiritual state. If you have lived a life characterized by empathy, inner growth, and wisdom, you might awaken within a luminous, tranquil environment. On the other hand, if your time was defined by hostility, greed, or severity, you could appear in a place that perfectly embodies those same vibrations, not as a form of consequence, but simply as a reverberation of your actions. Cayce firmly stated that these initial moments bear no relation to traditional concepts of either paradise or damnation. Instead, their core meaning resides in the fostering of deep awareness. A deep journey of self-understanding begins for the soul, leading to insights that were impossible to grasp during its earthly existence. The veils of unreality softly draw back. Within this realm, the act of self-delusion is rendered unachievable. There is no capacity to shift responsibility. Instead, one faces their true, innermost nature directly. While some spirits may find this disclosure quite startling, others experience a profound feeling of freedom. From the 5th through the 10th day, a fresh phase of transformation begins. The soul then starts to encounter other conscious beings, some bearing a sense of familiarity, others being entirely novel. They are not simply faint echoes or specters. Rather, they are sentient entities on their own distinct spiritual odysseys. Dialogues take place, not through articulated sounds, but via the direct communion of thoughts. Cayce explained that telepathic communication functions as the universal language throughout the afterlife. Within this dimension, everything consists purely of energy. Your feelings, your mental processes, and your recollections are plainly evident, dynamically molding the environment directly around you. Consequently, should you harbor sensations of guilt, they materialize as palpable aspects of your surroundings. If you embrace love, it surrounds you like a gentle, luminous glow. At this specific point, numerous souls commence to grasp their initial deep insight. The understanding that consciousness itself dynamically brings reality into being. Cayce cautioned that certain spirits find themselves ensnared at this phase, clinging firmly to their past sorrows and focusing intensely on uncompleted affairs. Those souls reluctant to extend forgiveness might persist in this transitional realm for years, occasionally even for decades, until they deliberately choose to let go of their bonds. Nevertheless, for a great number of others, the progression proceeds. From the 11th day through the 20th, the soul frequently senses what Cayce described as a summons. No sound can be heard outwardly. Rather, it is in profound inner awareness, a soft beckoning towards a place of profound learning. In this space, the soul starts to grasp the intricate design of the spirit realm. Next, it travels to what numerous accounts have described as the vast records of being or the sacred haven of wisdom. Cayce maintained that these are far from simple legends. Instead, they represent genuine sites within the spiritual plane, open to those souls ready for advancement. Within this environment, the soul encounters entities of deep wisdom, revered guides, teachers, and advisors who project both understanding and resilience. Their purpose is not to judge. Instead, they function to enlighten. The soul is offered realizations, fleeting views of past lives, previous choices, missed opportunities, and untapped potentials. This encounter is not meant to stir feelings of regret within the soul. The core purpose involves assisting it in comprehending its individual path, the motivations behind its presence on earth, its achievements from the past, and the undertakings yet to be finished. According to Cayce, a multitude of spirits choose to re-enter life after this period, not due to compulsion, but stemming from a deep awareness that additional responsibilities lie ahead. As the days progress into the third week after the body's passing, a profoundly important metamorphosis begins. The soul, growing more conscious of its fundamental essence and ultimate purpose, starts to recollect not only the life it just experienced, but also its numerous earlier forms. As Cayce elucidated, the soul exists beyond time, and at this specific moment, the division separating dimensions becomes receptive. Memories from previous lifetimes surface into consciousness, not as fragmented bits, but with a clear and directional purpose. The spirit begins to discern the complex tapestry that links every individual life, and how choices made long ago still echo and shape the present time. For some souls, this awareness can feel rather profound, as they identify a recurring theme of having met with and learned from comparable lessons again and again across their path. On the other hand, others feel an energizing rush of clarity, as if the dispersed pieces of their essential mystery have finally settled into their proper positions. A deep understanding of their raison d'être gently surfaces. No event transpired randomly, neither a solitary bond, a moment of sadness, nor an instant of joy. Every experience carried weighty meaning, and then, for the very first occasion, the spirit witnesses the entire path of its own development. This dawning comprehension ushers in either a deep inner peace or a fervent longing for a new spiritual beginning. Cayce elucidated that this particular point is where many souls make a sacred pledge to come back and set right what remained unaddressed previously. Around the 30th day, the soul typically attains a state of equilibrium. The sensation of being unmoored dissipates, and the active search ceases. A feeling of preparedness begins to take hold, poised for progression, ready for elevation. Still, a conclusive phase awaits, a concluding reflection. Cayce characterized this as an encounter with the higher self, a brilliant, hallowed expression of your eternal essence, unconstrained by the flow of time. This exalted self is distinct from your ego. It is separate from your personality. It represents the unblemished embodiment of your soul's core nature. To experience this meeting is unlike simply observing a reflection. It resembles a homecoming to one's genuine source. For certain individuals, this confluence is fleeting. Yet for others, it forms the unique and most deeply transformative period within their spiritual progression. Your innermost being conveys messages without words. It unveils your authentic character, not just the identity you held while on earth, but the fundamental spirit you have perpetually manifested. A distinct option presents itself. Either remain within the spiritual realm for ongoing growth, or go back to earth with a fresh objective. Cayce highlighted that no pressure is ever applied. The soul consistently chooses its own direction. With this specific 40-day period nearing its end, the majority of souls have decided on their preferred course. Individuals who choose to stay in the celestial sphere often join what Cayce termed the soul group, a collection of awarenesses that advance in unison through numerous existences. This gathering acts as your spiritual kin. You've met them previously, and you will discern them once more. Within this group, some were once your mother or father, others your sons or daughters. Even more were strangers who materialized exactly when their aid was most vital. This isn't simply coincidence, it's a deliberate arrangement. The spirit starts to grasp that affection, rather than intelligence, represents the supreme value of the cosmos. Everything else, power, achievements, even sorrow, eventually fades away, yet affection endures. In the end, this profound bond of love evolves into the very passage leading to the unfolding future. The character of this upcoming phase, whether it takes the form of peaceful rest, a new start, or a higher spiritual state, is shaped by the continuous journey of the soul. However, upon the arrival of the 40th day, the expedition that began within a space of quiet and doubt reaches its peak in absolute clarity. Apprehension ceases to govern the spirit, and loneliness no longer touches it. A profound realization takes root, acknowledging that as the 40th day breaks, an enduring change transpires within the soul's fundamental energetic structure. It is much like one gateway softly drawing shut, while another subtly reveals itself. Edgar Cayce emphasized that at this precise moment, the soul has either aligned itself with its next stage of progress, or it has remained entangled in a state of confusion, still holding on to its worldly connections. Yet, for those spirits who have discovered a peaceful acceptance of their passing, who have faced their innermost truths, embraced their past journey, and reconnected with their fundamental spiritual essence, the path ahead unfolds into one of deep serenity. Cayce further described this state as spiritual alignment. This represents a unique energetic frequency a spirit attunes to, which allows it either to progress into higher realms, return to the earthly plane with a deepened sense of mission, or even remain to guide fellow spirits beginning their own journey. These are not simply figments of the imagination. As Cayce conveyed, these possibilities are entirely authentic and freely chosen. Not every soul chooses to revisit the terrestrial realm. Many individuals opt to devote their energies to helping fellow beings, whether by lending aid to family members, guiding individuals consumed by sadness, or engaging in what Cayce described as realms of restoration and rejuvenation, sacred havens where souls shattered by profound suffering discover comfort and internal repair. Among Cayce's profound insights, a key revelation is this: the physical transition from life does not mark an ultimate end, nor does the passing of the 40th day. Instead, it signifies a momentous crossroads, a hallowed moment of transformation. Just as a scholar advances through different educational phases, the spirit moves into its forthcoming phase, gifted with an elevated sense of awareness, a more precise purpose, and expanded understanding. Yet, Cayce also offered a gentle caution. This advancement is not an assured certainty. Our experiences following this passage are entirely shaped by how we choose to live our existence in the present moment. When we ignore our deeper essence, pursue only worldly possessions, and decline to examine ourselves, we arrive at life's ultimate shift without readiness, feeling lost and disoriented. Yet, if we guide our lives with intention, strive for inner growth, offer assistance to others, and listen to our conscience, we awaken fully prepared, ready to absorb fresh insights, ready to extend forgiveness, and poised for spiritual elevation. This fundamental wisdom is why Cayce dedicated countless years to encouraging humanity to prepare not just for the moment of leaving this life, but for the existence that unfurls beyond it. For the genuine journey of our being does not commence when our heart takes its final beat. It begins the instant we become aware of our own soul. So, what profound significance does this hold for you right now, in this very moment? It signifies that every single thought you entertain carries true consequence. Every kind gesture, each moment you choose to offer forgiveness, and every choice to embrace compassion rather than anger, these are anything but insignificant actions. They are, at their very core, the fundamental elements that shape your progression beyond this terrestrial life. When your moment arrives to depart from this world, as it invariably will for all, you will not carry your material riches with you. Your accomplishments and status will not accompany you either. You will only take with you that which you have nurtured within your own being. This is what awaits you during the initial 40 days following your transition. This inner cultivation is precisely what will define your new reality. Therefore, commence your preparation without delay, guided not by fear, but by a deep sense of understanding. Cayce held the firm conviction that our presence here is not simply human beings undertaking a spiritual expedition, but rather spiritual entities undergoing a human experience. This profound insight, he proposed, lessens our anxieties about mortality, enabling us to embrace existence with a richer sense of wholeness. Now, having contemplated the soul's path during those meaningful 40 days, a gentle yet significant question emerges. What endeavors are you pursuing today that your soul will look back upon with appreciation? If these thoughts resonate within you, we invite you to share your contemplations below. Your perspective is truly cherished by us. Should your input provide a valuable addition, we will acknowledge it with a heart, symbolizing our sincere appreciation. To help this channel flourish, you may consider subscribing and enabling notifications, guaranteeing you won't overlook any forthcoming material. Please gently consider extending this message to anyone you believe might find solace or understanding in its words. Your involvement is absolutely vital in assisting us to gently spread these inspiring messages far and wide. Always remember, passing from this life is not an ultimate conclusion. Rather, it signifies the dawning of an experience far more magnificent. Let us take a moment to consider this idea more deeply. Picture in your mind a dear individual who has passed on. You might have found yourself present at their remembrance gathering. Perhaps tears gently fell. Quiet prayers might have been softly spoken. Yet you may also have pondered, where do they dwell now? What feelings do they encounter? Have they discovered inner peace? Cayce's wisdom offers not only solace but a profound answer to that exact inquiry. Your cherished person, in their own unique way, journeyed through this very same 40-day period. They reviewed the experiences of their life. They sensed your presence. They remembered moments you may have forgotten. They felt your love enveloping the surroundings, even as their earthly body remained at rest. And if they were ready, if they had accepted growth, compassionate guides welcomed them, freeing them from burdens and leading them towards the light of understanding. Those who have departed have not genuinely disappeared, not in the way we typically imagine. They are merely traveling a route that awaits our eventual commencement. This very path will, when the time is right, open its embrace to us too. It is for this precise reason that the insights offered by Edgar Cayce carry such profound weight. His message gently reminds us that our being stretches beyond the tangible realm, that connections of the heart persist, and the choices we make today echo well beyond our present existence. Now picture yourself, many seasons from now, reaching your own culminating moment. As your last breath departs, a profound quietude settles, and within that stillness, you stir to consciousness. You start to perceive the countenances of those who journeyed onward before you. You sense their silent thoughts. You feel their close attendance. All apprehension now dissipates, for you grasp these unfolding experiences, a culmination of your thoughtful readiness. You realize this marks the dawn of the spirit's authentic voyage rather than its culmination. With serene composure, you step into the panorama, reflecting your life's course. You embrace all. You release. You rise higher. This is the deep influence inherent in consciousness. This understanding offers an authentic blessing. It's a profound metamorphosis, surpassing mere data. With each new insight we gain, our being steadily grows. And from this growth, a distinct bravery awakens within our daily lives. A quiet confidence that whispers, your essence transcends this physical shape. You endure forever. Should these words have touched you profoundly, altering your view of being, change, or your spirit, allow their impact to remain strong. Hold it with you always. Let it gently steer your choices. Permit it to enrich your empathy. And consider extending this message to those around you. Additionally, we encourage you to express your appreciation for this video. Become a subscriber and activate the notification bell to stay informed of future content. We also welcome you to contribute your reflections, inquiries, or personal encounters in the section below. Each contribution is carefully reviewed, and if your perspectives demonstrate significant worth, we will mark them with a symbol of appreciation. Together, we are cultivating an environment for authenticity, for conviction, and for illumination within a world genuinely seeking such qualities. The unfolding path of your spirit doesn't commence only after your physical departure. It truly begins at this very moment. And the more profound your insight, the more elegantly your path will unfold. Music